All right.
Just at what point do you think you'll finalise in your head and tell everyone about who's going to be playing and the order that they're going to be playing, considering the, I guess, riches that you've got to choose from?
Yeah, there's some good selection dilemmas actually at the moment, which is something that we maybe didn't think we were going to have come day one of the World Cup. We'll probably have a really good idea. Davey's going to have a fitness test this afternoon. He's still got a sore glute. He's pretty good. We're going to make sure it's a long tournament, and as long as if he passes that, he'll play. If he doesn't, well then Sean and Aussie will both play. If not, we'll have to make a choice. We'll have to make a choice out of Sean or Usman, and that's a really, really tough one to make. I guess that's part of being a selector. That's part of leadership, but it's a very, very tough decision to make.
And are you viewing this tournament as, because of the nature of it, that you're going to have to rotate players anyway, or do you want to stick with an 11?
There's one little section where I think we play 4 games in 9 days. We might have to look at managing our bowlers. In the perfect world, that you keep the team as close as possible together for the whole time, but it's probably unrealistic to think that'll happen. We're also very clear on our matchups for different teams. There's obviously some great data around. We've researched it thoroughly, all our opposition, so there might be a few little changes according to the matchups for different teams. But when you've got 15 players, the one great thing is that they all know they're here. They're not in Australia, for example. They might go off and play for their state, or at least they know they're in the squad. They're all pumped. It's a great feeling in the camp, and we've just got to make sure we get the best 11 for every game.
What percentage chance would you give David at this stage, do you think?
Oh, good question. He was a bit sore yesterday. He had a few throwdowns yesterday. He's just a bit sore in his right glute, so he's obviously desperate to play. He'd love to play, like all 15 players would. He's jumping out of his skin. His energy's up. He's laughing a lot, which is a really good sign. He's really keen, but he's got to make sure he can move, particularly in the field. Batting seems okay. Running in straight lines seems okay, but going from side to side, he's getting a bit of pain. So we just want to make sure that we don't aggravate it early in a long tournament.
If he's fit, does he definitely open?
Yes. There you go. There's one for you. There've been a lot of people have been asking me that. There you go. He'll open the first game if he's fit.
And on the eve of this, Justin, what is your state of readiness? How excited and enthused are your players about this tournament?
I can't remember a group of players that I've known so much laughter, and that's a really good sign for me. I've always felt that, and I've said this for many years as a player and as a coach, that camaraderie is crucial in great teams. Camaraderie is what keeps things together. It's like the glue that keeps things together, particularly when the pressure comes on. The pressure will come on in the World Cup, and there's a lot of strong camaraderie within the group. On the one hand, we've had a brilliant lead up with our games in the UAE, the games in India. We've had some good practice games here. It sort of means nothing, but it means everything, if that makes sense, because when it comes to game one, we all start again. But when you build up some confidence, you build up camaraderie, and you build up some real spirit within the group, that's a really positive thing for us going into the World Cup.
Sorry, and do you think that in this part of the world, given events in the past, you've still got bridges to build in terms of public perception?
Yeah, we have all around the world, and we're very aware of that. And hopefully we've shown in our actions on and off the cricket field in the last 12 months that we're certainly doing everything we possibly can to ensure that we earn respect. And we've talked about making Australians proud of us again, and that's really important to us. But also earning respect, and regardless of what's happened in the past, we're always looking to earn respect, and that's with our behaviours on and off the cricket field. So, yep, that's never changed really, and it's probably as significant now as it's ever been.
Just on David, how long do you give him? Does he need to be fit today in order to play, or can you give him another chance tomorrow?
We'll have a pretty good idea today when you see him running around the field, how he moves, then how he pulls up in the morning. But what I've expressed to him is that it's really important to be fair to the other players as well, because we don't want to get to Saturday morning, for example, then making a call when a couple of guys are wondering whether they're going to play or not going to play. So the earlier we can make the decision, particularly with a long tournament, hopefully we can make it tonight. He says, yep, I'm ready to go, or I'm not sure, yeah, I went okay, and if he pulls up sore in the morning, but yeah, the earlier the better. And he knows that, and certainly collectively we're really strong on that.
On Afghanistan, do you go into this match with the perception that your pace attack can blast them off the pitch?
No, not on these wickets. If it was in Australia, we might. If we were playing a World Cup in Australia, we might suggest, or South Africa even, we might go, yeah, but not on these wickets. We're realistic. That said, we've got guys with some good airspeed, Stark, Cummins, Nathan Coulton-Isle. They've got good airspeed and they've got a bit of height about them as well, so they might get some bounce, but our tactic will be the same. We know that the lines in England are very important because of the big squares, the big wicket squares, so square of the wicket, you've got to be very good on your line. So regardless of who we're playing, that'll be a very similar game plan. We did see though, I think the bouncer is an important ball. We saw that at the Oval today, and yeah, I think the lines and the use of that are going to be important, as are changing up pace later in the innings. So we've got guys who can play all those roles, I think, and that's positive for us.
Apologies if you've answered this before, but the booing, Steve and Dave and that sort of stuff, do you speak to them about it? Do you discuss it with them, how to get through it? Do you leave it to them? How do you deal with that? Yeah,
we've talked about it a lot, and we were expecting it. That said, when it happens, it doesn't make it any easier. You can talk about it as much as you like, but it doesn't make it any easier. I mean, they're human beings, that's the truth, and that's what I find harder. So I'm a dad, and I've got kids, and a lot of the time the players feel like my kids, and when you see that happen, you know, you feel for them personally, and they're going to have thick skin. We talk about earning respect. I think it's really important that people show some respect as well, because they are humans. They're really good cricketers. You know, they made a mistake. They paid the price for it, a big price actually. And you know, I feel for them as people more than anything else.
Would you be disappointed if they're booed again here on Saturday?
I'll be disappointed any day any player's booed at a cricket ground, regardless of what country they play for. It's not the spirit that any of us like to see, is it? I mean, so yeah, I'll be disappointed, yeah, but I'll be disappointed if there's booing in any games of cricket. It obviously hurts because I've got emotional attachment to and personal attachment to our players, but it's never a good look, is it, when that happens?
You said you've spoken to them. Will you speak to them again before Saturday about that issue?
After the experience of the other day at Hampshire, I think they've got a pretty good idea. We have a pretty good idea what to expect. And as I said, you can talk about it as much as we like. It's how the strategies they put in place and we put into place to make sure that they can deal with it. But as I said, no human likes it. That's the truth. And you know, they'll put it, as professional cricketers, they'll put it out of their mind. They'll get on and do their job. But no one likes that.
The story of Afghanistan and their improvement over, say, the last 4 years, can you give some insight into how impressed you may have been with them?
Oh, and some of their individual players are having an impact on the world scene, aren't they? It's a great credit to them, and we know that every single game in the World Cup is going to be a tough game. There will not be an easy game, and Afghanistan, on paper, people will say, oh, Australia versus Afghanistan, or England versus Afghanistan, or South Africa versus Afghanistan. Well, I mean, they deserve great respect. They've got players who are having an impact around the world. They've got some mystery spinners, and mystery spinners can have a big impact on games of cricket, with its 2020 cricket, one-day cricket. So we'll show them great respect because we do have respect for what they're doing.
England have just won their first game by 104 runs. Do you feel they're justifiably tournament favourites?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the best team in the world. They're playing at home, and I said that the other day and said, oh, Langer's playing the mind games already. No, I'm not. I'm just telling the truth. They are they're the best team, and They've shown that for a long time. We talk about respect for countries like Afghanistan, the respect that we have for England at the moment. They've been dominant, so that's a very, very strong start for them in the World Cup. I'm sure they're cock-a-hoop.
Have you seen Ben Stokes' catch yet?
No, I haven't yet.
It's a good one.
Is it?
Yeah.
I saw his 80 odd. That was a good one too, and he got two for 8 off 2 overs. So he had a pretty good game, Ben.
Do you think they sent out a bit of a statement with that win today?
Sorry?
Do you think they sent out a bit of a statement?
I think they've sent out a statement for 4 years. We know they're serious. We know they're ready to go, and they're a very good cricket team. So yeah, they've sent out a statement because I guess some people might be saying, I wonder if they can still play that aggressive style in the World Cup. They've just done it against South Africa. So yeah, they've sent out a statement not only today but for the last 4 years.
And how much notice do you and the players take of the other matches throughout this tournament? Because there's a lot of them. So are you keeping track of what everyone's doing, or are you doing your own thing?
I'm a cricket tragic, mate. This is like my fairyland, you know. I can sit and watch cricket every single day and tell people I'm working. Like, this is magic. We might have slipped a few games of golf this morning, and it might have been on in the golf buggy for most of the time. So yeah, we'll be watching plenty of cricket. That's the brilliant thing about the World Cup. When you love cricket and it's on all the time, what could be better?
JL team's obviously in a better place. I suggest probably you are too. Is that a coincidence or something that's happened by chance or you worked on?
I think the first 6 months of me being in the job was a tough 6 months. It would have been for anyone, actually. I mean, there was a lot going on. I came from a previous job which I loved to a new job, and there was a lot going on. So, and my personality, I take a lot. I want to know exactly what's going on. So you don't sleep much because you're working a lot, and we weren't getting the results. I mean, remember that 12 months ago we came here and got beaten 5-0 by England, and it was probably a real wake-up call for where we're at. What I can say is I've been very proud of the progress of the players in the last 12 months. I think about someone like Kane Richardson, who I sat with at Old Trafford after the T20 game last year, and I never thought he'd play cricket for Australia again. I didn't think he had the bottle, and we talked about it. But how he has come, and you see he is having a red-hot dip here. Everything he does, whether it's at training, he's talked about it amongst the group that he wants to, he doesn't want to play scared cricket. He wants to be an Australian cricketer. So he's a great role model for our players to come from where we were 12 months ago. He's standing tall and he's having a go. So, and we've won some games too, Pete. I mean, let's face it. Call me a bit sad, but I used to say, you probably heard me say this before when I was a player. I've got a beautiful wife and a beautiful family and a bit of money in the bank, and I drive a fancy car, and I've got nice food on the table. I don't make any runs. I'm miserable. It's the same with that. You can have all this nice stuff, but if you're not winning, then it's hard. It's a hard environment to be in. So we've won a few games. There's a good feeling. I was just saying to the guy, you've heard me say it, I can't remember so much laughter in a squad for a very long time. So, and that's a good sign. There's good spirit in the squad, bit of confidence. And I also said before that whilst the last few months counts for nothing, it counts for everything. Because when we start in the first game, it doesn't really count for anything because we've got to play that game as well as we can, but we've got some good confidence in each other, we've got good camaraderie, and that will hold us in good stead when the big lights come on.
Twice since I've been here, I've heard talk about, we've got to love each other and look after each other and support each other. Was that a message that went around the group before you came here, or was it just something?
I've said that since day one. Yeah, I've said that. Yeah, I said it. I think that's the most important about leadership is you care for people, and that's so important, and you give them a lot of love. So and that's just straight up, and that's very important. Whether you're a father or you're a coach, you got to make people feel like they're part of it, and help them feel part of it, and help them work towards helping themselves to be the best players they can, and helping us to be on the best team we can be.
Must be buoyed too, I guess, by the form that Steve's shown in the last couple of games and these wild games coming up. Everyone else going to be about him.
Oh yeah, well that puts a smile on your face. You've got Steve Smith batting like that. Dave's back in the team. Albeit he's having a fitness test tonight, and Mitchell Stark's come back in the side. Pat Cummins is a world-class player. We've got plenty of some real class in this squad. And I know, again, I've said this for a long time, to win tournaments, to win trophies, you've got to have class. And we've got some class in this side, so and Steve's one of those.
Can I ask Steve, what's the fitness test involved for Dave?
Oh, he's going to have a field. We're going to field first, and he'll just see how his glute pulls up. So he feels he's okay batting, running between wickets, straight lines, it's not too bad, but going side to side, he's getting this trouble in his glute. It's a very minor strain, had a scan, it's just a minor strain, so we'll just see how he pulls up.
You spoke about how you would be miserable if you didn't get runs. When and how did you learn to deal with it? When and how did you start dealing with it, and how did you learn dealing with that feeling, being miserable?
I think you get better at it, but it's just part of the business we're in, actually. You get judged whether we like it or not. You get judged whether you win or lose, or if you make runs, you don't make runs. And I've been doing it for a long time, but that's just the business we're in. I've always said about the media, for example, it's an industry, and if you do play well, people will say nice things about you. If you don't play well, people won't say nice things about you. And if you keep it that simple, then it helps you deal with it a bit better. You don't take it so personally.
Well, at cricket you do fail more than you succeed, don't you?
Oh yeah, you do, absolutely. And you find perspective. You understand over time that you can't be up all the time. You're not down. It doesn't rain forever, that's for sure. So that just comes from perspective, experience, and wisdom, I guess.
Joe, can I go on that earlier point about Steve? With his technique, and it's so different, so unique, were you at all concerned that it might take him, I guess, a bit longer to get back to his best and what we saw, like, obviously before?
No, I was never ever worried about his batting. A bit like Dave, I'm not worried about their batting. I was wondering how they'd come back into the team, how they're going to deal with. We saw it at Hampshire. We just talked about it before. The reaction. I was far more worried about them personally and how they're going to come back in it than their batting. I mean, Steve Smith literally thinks he's got a mastermind and he thinks about batting all the time. So I was never worried about his batting. That doesn't mean he's going to do well this World Cup. It might not make another run for the rest of his life, but I'm not ever going to worry about his batting because that's what he thinks about. That's what he's looking to master every day of his life.
You mentioned Kane just before there and how far he's come. What did he actually have to change from that game at Old Trafford?
Just belief in himself, actually. I honestly think it was just believing in himself. He's a really talented athlete. He's got great skills. He's a beautiful athlete. He can field well. He can catch well. But when you're just holding back a little bit, you tell, maybe I won't go for that because I don't want to mess it up. But now he's having a dip and he's having a red hot crack at it. And it's just, you get to this level, there's so many distractions, it's so hard. If you're not going 100%, too hard. He's going 100% now, and I got great respect for him for that.
Rashid Khan's obviously someone who's going to be a key player for the opposition on Saturday. What have you kind of made of his journey up to this point, and how dangerous is he going to be?
Well, he's brilliant. He's 20 years old. Feels like he's been around forever. We know we're going to have to work hard against him. The best thing about a lot of our guys have played him before. You always worry about these sort of bowlers if you haven't seen much of them before. Again, we're going to have to be at our best. We have to be sharp early against him. He will be carrying a lot of weight of the team. But that said, he's played all around the world now. He's seen the best. He's bowled to the best. He's no doubt a danger man for this game.
First of all, that's how I feel open with spin today, and is something that you would ever consider, maybe with Zams in the power play?
What did I say to you the other day?
No.
None of your business.
Thanks, everyone.
Maybe, I'm not sure yet. I did say when that wicket you watched, that's going to be a trend. Everyone's going to start bowling spin to England first up, but they ended up getting 307, didn't they? So, we know when we play England, whether we bowl spin early or quicks early, we're going to have to be on top of our game like every other team in the competition.
Thanks.
Good stuff.